Welcome to Gumball Love. I'm Melissa Ledger, professional relationship coach, creator of Gumball Love and the Back to You Academy. If you're ready to stop the cycle of toxic men, get through the breakup once and for all, and finally get back to you, you are in the right place. This journey is about healing your heart, and you are encouraged to take the pace that is just right for you. In the process, you will build a foundation of confidence and strength that will make you unshakable, I promise. So get ready to level up your mindset and your lifestyle as you awaken the seeds of greatness just waiting to burst into full bloom. Let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of Gumball Love. I'm your host, Melissa Ledger. All right, today I'm going to talk to you about something kind of random, but it's why we feel dumb. Why we feel so dumb for making a decision about a guy, staying with a guy, looking back on your past and being like, what was I thinking? Whether that is current or it's in the past, there is so much shame around all of it. And I think it's one of the first things I usually address when I'm doing a coaching call. If you've ever done a coaching call with me, it's like everyone gets this face like, okay, here's the deal. And I know this is going to sound stupid, and then here's the story. Well, the reason you feel like it sounds like, oh God, I'm so dumb. Like, okay, here's the deal. And I've got to go through the gut wrenching feeling of, I know how dumb I am, yet I continue to do it. And then I listen to the story and I feel like I've done more dumb things than most all of my coaching clients, where you guys don't know my history and all the dumb things that I've done, all the things I beat myself up for, all the things I felt so much shame. And I didn't realize, and I want to just give you this huge hack tip, that the shaming and the feeling bad and the feeling dumb is actually holding you back. Because I want you to just think about the exact same thing that you feel so shameful about. If your friend did the exact same thing, would you tell her how dumb she was? Would you be like, oh my God, I can't believe you? Now, maybe, sometimes we do get ourselves into some situations where we need someone to give us a little bit of, a wake-up call. But we wouldn't continue to remind her of how dumb it is. And if someone's doing this to you, then they're not your friend. But when we are a friend to ourselves, yes, I'm not saying that we just say, okay, do whatever we want and don't hold yourself accountable, but we have to give ourselves some grace. And here's why. The number one reason you feel dumb right now is because you have a lot more information before you did the thing that you feel like was a dumb decision. You have the hindsight 2020 view. You have clarity. You can now see all of the red flags. So when you started out, there maybe was one red flag. And look, I approach all of the relationships when I'm listening to you talk through a Gumball Guy situation. Sometimes I'm always trying to think, okay, can this work? Is this relationship salvageable? Where are you in the relationship? Are you at the very beginning? Are you in the middle? Are you in the end? And depending on where you are, by the time you do a coaching call with me, you usually have accumulated a lot. And now you feel stuck and you feel stupid because you have all the information. You're like, this should be easy for me. And I realize what this sounds like, but I can't get out. I keep going back, and then the going back and then the beating yourself up. When you're beating yourself up, you're holding yourself back. You are keeping yourself down. It's abusive to yourself. Okay, so when you coach with me, I'm never going to say, and I always thought my therapist would do this, although I did get a few eyebrow raises out of him, like, well, okay, like, and I'd say, don't do that. That makes it worse. But, sometimes I did give him some doozies. But I'm never going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. That is so dumb. And the reason it's not dumb is because you become emotionally attached. And then when the red flags start to happen, you already have an investment there. And so, yeah, other people can see it clearly. And this is when you tell like a know-it-all person, or maybe you have a know-it-all friend that's like, well, duh, I could have told you that 6 months ago. And then you're like, well, I know, but I'm the one that's emotionally invested. So just know that if you're on the fence about doing a coaching call, really a coaching call is, let's talk this through. This is where I am. This is where I feel stuck. And I know it's frustrating because sometimes you just know you need to get out, and you're scared to maybe you're scared to talk to anybody about it because you feel like they're going to pressure you to make a decision. Like, oh yeah, you got to leave him. But I believe it's not that simple. And as my mother always says, sometimes you have to land that airplane. She was a flight attendant for 20 years. And it's so true. You have to land the airplane, and you cannot go from 30,000 feet to the landing strip in a matter of a moment or a decision. It takes time to, okay, I'm going to slowly, I've got to make my approach, got to figure out where I'm going to land, and I've got to ease my way and come to the ground and then land that airplane and then decide. It's just a lot. It's a process. Okay. It's a process. And so the judgment comes in because we have the 2020 vision. We feel like we should know better, but we keep going back and we don't understand, and we beat ourselves up further because we don't know the cycle we're repeating. And that's where I want to help you with this. And I'm actually building a quiz right now that will be available to the public probably in a couple of months. However, I do have a beta version of this quiz that I am using with my clients. I just started doing this, and it is the most exciting thing I have ever produced with this content. So a lot of times we're repeating a pattern because we don't know what type of gumball guy we are attracted to. So right now, if you go to my website, you can get a free download of the best workbook I've ever put together. And thanks to my girl, April, who's my social media manager, she saw the one that I made and made it much prettier. But I wrote all of that content. That is by me going through each flavor of attention and saying, okay, what are the top flags? So it's a quick guide. You download the guide and you look, okay, here are the 8 flavors of attention. Here are the red flags for each flavor of attention. And when you go through the red flags for each flavor of attention, and you start to see, yeah, this guy or this flavor sounds familiar, but wait, this one kind of does too. That will be the point of the quiz. So if you book a one-on-one coaching call with me, and I've changed my packaging entirely, you will get VIP access to this quiz that is in its beta version. So I will look at, okay, who is this guy and what are his flavors of attention? So the quiz is much more comprehensive than the download, but if you can get into that download and you can start making yourself familiar with, okay, what is it that I'm attracted to? What kind of guy am I getting caught up with? And why am I repeating this cycle? So I want to help you with that because yes, you do want out. Yes, you do want to get through this. However, if you keep beating yourself up, you're just going to hold yourself back. So coaching with me is not going to be, we'll go through it, but you're not going to shock me with anything. I'm never going to be like, oh no, I understand exactly why. So just think of, it's kind of like a doctor when you're saying your ailments and your symptoms. And he's sitting there going, oh yeah, I know exactly why you're feeling this way, because you have XYZ and I can just prescribe this medicine and you'll feel okay. But it would be like you sitting there going on and feeling stupid for being sick and not letting someone help you. And so, look, we all get into patterns because it all stems from childhood, right? Who we grow up around sets us up for the expectations that we have in relationships. And if that is screwed up, which for most of us it is, I think almost 100% of us have some kind of, we all have experienced trauma. Did you know that a trauma is any time you abandon yourself to meet someone else's needs? That is a trauma. So we all have this journey that we've had from birth till today, and we all have accumulated different traumas, different attachment styles, and we are going to naturally be attracted to things that are not healthy for us until we start to look at that. And that is a journey in and of itself. So what feels like, oh, this is a dumb decision. Why am I doing this? It's okay. I want you to almost like shrug it off. Like, okay, well, I'm here because of my life experience, of what I grew up around. And so here I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to change. I'm ready for this to not be my life anymore. I want something different. And so I can give you the something different. And I knew with the way Gumball Love was coming across, yes, it's attention addiction. Yes, we don't want to date guys that are only in the relationship for the sugar high, but they're not really ready to commit. They don't know how to have the relationship. We're always with these guys that are halfway in, halfway out, creating the chase, or we're always fighting with them. And these are all the Gumball Love flavors. Like you feel like he's bored and you're entertaining him, or there's some other girl in the picture and it's like, okay, if we get this chick out of the picture, then can we be together? Or does he really want her? What do I have to do? All these different dynamics. I have always been aware of these dynamics. And a couple of years ago, I did divide all these attention flavors into flavors. And I was hoping and praying there would be 8, because there's 8 colors in the actual traditional classic gumball machine. And I can't believe it came out to exactly 8 flavors, because I was prepared to create some other like random gumball color if I couldn't. But every time I came up with a behavior pattern, it was like, okay, where does this fit? Does this fit into some guy who wants a chase? Does this fit into another guy who wants to be idolized and he's the show-off guy? Does this fit into the guy that's always being the victim and wants pity? So if you start to understand the cycle of and the pattern that you're repeating, okay, so I'm attracted to guys that want these flavors of attention. So when you go through the workbook, you'll see, okay, I am identifying with giving these types of gumballs. And it's not going to be just one. So it's not like your guy fits a horoscope. He's going to be like, I don't know, one girl took it and she was like 60% arouse me guy and then 20% chase me guy. So you've got a guy that's really the player guy that's really motivated by sex, and he also likes the chase. Or he maybe is using pity to get you to feel sorry for him in some way. And so then you're being very nurturing to this guy, but you also feel like you have to chase him. There are so many different combinations that can be happening that you don't even realize. And what I help you do is not only identify, okay, so I'm going to offer anyone who does a coaching package with me, not only am I going to offer you access to this quiz early, but the type of gumball guy that you're attracted to also gives me the data to show what it is that you are getting out of this, why this is making you excited to be with this guy. Even though, yes, this is a gumball guy, yes, these are the attention flavors, it's overwhelming. It's like, okay, Melissa, I get it, but now what do I do? How do I figure this out? So I had to make a big decision. I am only focused on women that are like, get me out of this. I need to figure this out. I am over it. I'm done. I want to know. And I want someone who will be patient with me. I want someone who will walk me through it without putting pressure. So I'm going to show you, okay, here are the flavors of attention that he craves. This is how this presents in a relationship. This is why you're doing it, and this is the path forward. And I also, and this is all kind of VIP early information that you'll start to see come out in our content, but if you want access to this right now, if you choose the 3-session package, I am also going to include the love of my life. Ian is willing to do a session with you. You can have a session with us as a couple, or you can have a session with just him if you want to just talk to a guy, not to get the man's perspective. But I told him that, I said, a lot of my girls just don't have guys they can talk to about relationships. I mean, yes, I want you talking to healthy couples. I want you asking them those questions, because that's what I had to do. I needed, I didn't have Ian in my life, of course. So I was trying to find him. I was trying to find and talk to and be around healthy men. And so I did use those opportunities to talk to them and say, what is your relationship like? And healthy couples are willing to talk about their relationship. They're very open. You'll be surprised when you start asking people, well, tell me how you guys met, and what do you say are the keys to a happy relationship? And what should I be looking for if I'm looking for a potential husband? And so I wanted to give you access to, I'm going to call this in my package, borrow my boyfriend, but I wanted to give you access to him just so you have somebody to talk to if you want it. So if you're like, I don't know, Melissa, that seems awkward, I would rather have you there. We're happy to be there as a couple. And then maybe you get comfortable with him and you're like, you know what? I want to have this conversation. He's different than me. He's very logical. He's been in the insurance world. He's got the very logical mind. He's got the very, but he also is very creative too. I don't want to make him like Spock from Star Trek but he's just a lot more calm and straightforward, and he's very practical. So that's the side that, we complement each other really well. We also have a lot of similarities, but at the end of the day, I just feel like I want to give my girls, you, access to a guy just to be able to talk to a guy. And if you don't have anyone really you feel comfortable having this type of discussion. And I didn't allow this in the beginning because I was very protective of you, and I wanted to make sure he really understood the content. I wanted him to know. I didn't want him just giving advice based on his own experience. I wanted him to understand Gumball Love, the concept, the formula, and now he's in so deep, he can challenge me and say, no, that's actually pity me. That's not, or that's idolize me. That's like, he helped build this beta version of the quiz, and because we wanted something we could offer you before the real quiz was available. So I want you to feel excited that I have never been more excited about delivering this content in a way that will help you not only see what kind of guy you're dealing with, what flavor of attention does he want first? How is he showing up? How do those percentages, what does that look like? And then I can help you see those patterns more quickly. Before, when I was coaching, I'm listening to your story and we would have to get into all these details. Where now, when you come in and you start with, these are the quiz results. This is where I feel stuck. This is why I'm still hung up on this guy. What are your thoughts based on these results? I've been able to coach just a few people, and I am like, oh my God, this was the answer. So I've created a 3-part series. 1, we analyze him, you take the quiz. 1, the second meeting, we break it down further and we really get into, okay, how are you doing? How you doing? Sorry, I watch Friends every night, so I've got Joey Tribbiani in my head. But number 1, what is his issue? Number 2, what's going on with you that's making you want to give this attention to him? So the flavors of attention he wants kind of reveal the things you get out of it. So that's a whole nother thing that I'm not even going to get into. And then the 3rd session is a follow-up to create that path forward to get you on the right track so you know how to see the red flags. You know what you're doing. You don't feel scared. You don't feel like you're questioning, Is this the right guy? Is it not? We're going to give you the tools so you know exactly what to do. And that third session, again, can include Ian and I both, or just him, because I want to give you what you need. Just like my last episodes with a different dating coach. Because if what I'm saying isn't resonating with you, but somebody else that I like has a different concept than me, but it's whatever works for you, I just want you to get out of the misery of online dating. And I want you to have that feeling of, I know how to filter. I know how to get through this. I'm not going to sit here and feel dumb anymore. I want to give you that empowerment, because I will tell you, ever since I started creating Gumball Love, I never felt trapped or stupid again. Even if I had relationships throughout the past decade as I was working through this content, but you know what? I didn't have the confidence of how good this concept was until maybe the past 3 or 4 years. So in those earlier years, even though I knew, okay, I picked the wrong guy, or this isn't really the guy for me, or this guy turned out to be a jerk, which only happened a couple of times, and I really didn't go through the massive heartbreak. I had my major heartbreak, and then I came up with Gumball Love, and I would say I fell in love maybe, but it wasn't like that gut-wrenching, heart-aching, like my life is over kind of a breakup. Ever since I started to gain this clarity, I did not feel as bad about myself because I had more information, and I had a better understanding, and I was able to forgive myself. So that's what I want for you. We have to stop being so down on ourselves and being so shameful. And also, I want you to take this journey and invest in yourself in coaching if you can, so that you don't feel like you have to over-explain to people in your life. Like, your friend or your sister or your brother or your coworker, when you're just sitting there and they're like not really responding the way you want them to, and you start to feel like, okay, this person thinks I'm an idiot, and that feeling of them judging you, or, why do you always pick guys like this? Those judgmental comments that you get from whoever those people are with the face that's like, or the pity face, like, oh, I'm so sorry you can't find somebody. You'll find somebody someday. I want you to get out of that world, so when you found somebody, how to approach this process. So I hope this is helpful. I wanted to keep this a little bit on the shorter side, which are my famous last words, but hey, you know what? I'm only at 20 minutes in and we're wrapping up. But I wanted to just give you this message of don't beat yourself up. Millions of people are in this dilemma of feeling like they met somebody great, and then that slow reveal that he's not the right guy. And then then there's that moment where you realize it, and then you feel like, and you're still in it because you don't want to admit to everyone that you just told how great this guy is, that now you're starting to see the cracks in the foundation. And it's a very hurtful, painful, excruciating experience. And I don't want you to go through this again. So I want you to ask yourself, what is it worth to you to not go through that again? You know what I mean? Like, if someone could have offered me this 10 years ago, and I could have avoided, for saying years ago, 20 years ago, if I could, wherever age you are, no one's like, hey, you know what? I have more time for a guy to rip my heart out and make me feel like crap. One of my last clients, she was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I am tired of feeling like this. And whether it's you caught up with a married guy, or you've been texting a guy for 6 months and you've never met him before and you're embarrassed, but he's the kind of guy that wants a sexy pic from you, or he's got a girlfriend and you found out about it and you're hoping that he's leaving her. Whatever you're in it for a reason. And so let's approach this with, okay, what's going on? What made this guy exciting? What are you getting out of it right now? And let's approach it from we're going to figure this out. You're not a horrible person. Because look, if you want to get out of it and you know, you already have the shame. You've already beat yourself up enough. Trust me, I know. So let's stop doing that and let's just work together and figure out a way through it. Whether you just need to listen to more podcasts, like look, this is, I think, the 101 podcast, and I know there are more because we numbered a different series. There's over 100 podcasts, probably 120, 130 on this channel that you can listen to for free. But if you want to dig deep and have it customized to you, that's where I want you to click the link in the bio, look at that 3-session package, or you can even do 6 sessions if you feel like, okay, Melissa, I'm going through something where I'm going to need ongoing support. And I'm looking at creating more ongoing support. There's a lot in the works, but I'm also writing a book. So I have to keep my tasks and my projects to where I can manage them. But I knew that this quiz was going to be magical. I just had a feeling, and it has proven me wrong where I predicted my own gumball. Can you imagine? I created the quiz. Ian and we went through these questions with so much. I mean, we went over and over and over. We would do them one day and we'd go back through them and we'd redo them. And oh my gosh, so much came through with who Christian Grey is from 50 Shades of Grey. Like that, he and I should do a podcast just talking about that. But you guys, so much more data has come through, and this whole concept has taken on a new life. And I can't wait to share it with you, because now I feel like I can coach from such a more powerful position. I can give you answers I haven't been able to give before, because I haven't been able to understand the flavors of attention the way I understand them now, how that impacts you, all of the things that I've mentioned. I want to keep repeating them because I'm just so excited about it. So if you're interested, shoot me a DM. I'm more than happy to answer questions. Don't feel like you're going to be pressured into anything, as I want you to come into this feeling excited and ready to do the work and have that help along the way. Not only from me, but now from Ian, who is super excited to help you guys. I can't even believe this is happening. As I do this podcast, he's hanging out with my dad. He's been hanging out with my dad all day. No guy I have ever been with has said, hey, I'm just going to go hang out with your dad today. They're like sitting at a sports bar watching the Nebraska game. And he was like, I'm going to give you some alone time so you can do your work. And he's building the back end to this quiz and has just been such a part of this. He really sees how he's like, babe, this is going to help so many women. We have to get this quiz done. We have to do this. I mean, he really has reinvigorated and shown me the value that this is providing. So test me on it. I guarantee you it's going to blow your mind. So, I didn't even have an intention to tell you guys about this. This was all going to be about not feeling the shame, but I realized that I needed, maybe this was just meant to be, that whoever is out there right now, if you're listening to this and you're ready to take a more serious step, because look, even if you're 20 years old, 25, if you can prevent this kind of heartbreak in your life, oh my gosh, and then if you're 45, you really need to be done. You really deserve to have a life where you're not dealing with this kind of drama, because most of us have our lives together in pretty much every other area except this. And it's that thing where you're like, why can't I get the relationship part fixed? What is going on here that is drawing me to these guys? And if you can even just remove the heartbreak, I'm not even talking about finding somebody. Just if you can stop that cycle, this is why I came up with stop the cycle of sugar high romance, discover your worth, and then find true love. But stopping that cycle is part of that process of really, when you can't stop the cycle unless you can see the flags. And you need to be able to see the flags that are specific to you, not just general. So that's the downside of the podcast. I can only speak in generalities, but if we work together, I can speak directly to you and say, this is what's going on. And there is only a certain percentage of people that can handle that kind of intense, like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Dang. Okay, Melissa. Okay. I'm with you, and look, I'm here for you because I know how impactful this was for me to experience over a period of time of researching. And even though I'm the quote unquote creator, it still revealed itself to me. I still had to go through like, oh my God, yeah. Oh, I see that. Ooh. So I am not unaware of the intensity that I'm able to pack like a powerful punch of giving you this information in a succinct and organized and like, okay, here it is. Here's the reveal. So I want to make sure you're supported. And if you're one of my one-on-one clients, I obsess over it. I had one of my girls that, if you're listening, you know who you are. Like, we were like, oh my gosh, is she with a Gumball Guy? She's been with him for 2 years. And Ian's like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you? I'm like, no, I worked with this girl for years, and we like, she's been with her guy for 2 years, and she's texting me, and she took the quiz and we figured it out. And it was like, I was like, wow, this is really amazing and powerful. And we realized, nope, this wasn't gumball behavior. It was this. And it was just an incredible realization. And it's showing me just how important this work is. So I would love to work with you. Reach out to me. Click the link in the bio. You can see if you click book now on Instagram, or you can go to the website. And it's a little bit under construction because this is kind of, hopefully maybe by the time this podcast airs, I'll have it all updated. But if not, just reach out to me because I'm trying to not have everything be perfect on the website. If you need help, I want you to get it as soon as possible. All right. I can't wait to hear from you. Let me know what you think of this episode. Please, if you like this episode, if you could leave me a review, that would be so helpful. If you like things on Instagram, I'm really trying to show engagement. So as I'm publishing the book, I can see how many people are really engaged, who likes this content. So I know a lot of times I'm scrolling and I'm not hitting the heart button, but if you like this or you're enjoying the content, please let me know. Just drop me a comment, even an emoji. Tell me how this is impacting you because I really look at that stuff. I'm obsessed over every DM, every comment on every post. I'm reading it all myself. So until next time, my love, I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you want more information or to schedule a private coaching session, or better yet, to join the next Back to You Academy, go to gumballlove.com. If you loved this podcast, I would love for you to share it with your friends. And if you really loved it, a 5-star review is the best compliment you can give. Remember, you are enough, you are right where you should be, and the only thing you have to do is keep going. I'll leave you with my favorite quote by Henry David Thoreau. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you have imagined. Until next time, I'll see you soon.